요새 직장인들, 학생들, 모든 사람들 다
코로나 때문에 많이 힘든 상황인데
Please take care of your health. Try and stay home as much as possible.
불필요한 외출은 자제해 주시고 집에서 가족들과 즐거운 시간 보냈으면 좋겠습니다.
비록 경기장에는 찾아오지 못하더라도
선수들 열심히 준비하고 있으니까
올바른 예방법으로
건강하게 잘 지내셨으면 좋겠습니다.
다 같이 참고 잘 이겨내고 저희 경기 보면서 다들 힘내셨으면 좋겠습니다.
He's done it now 4 times in a row. He is your GSL Contest champion. He has done it! 뜨거운 박수 함으로 결승전 대결의 시작하겠습니다.
라운드 오브 24 TY 전태양 바머 최지성 아르마니 박진현 디어 백동준 아프리카 TV 브레이크업 스튜디오 라이브 2020 GSL 시즌 1 코드 S 쇼다운.
Whoop. Silence. Oh, okay, we're back. What's up, everybody? Time for the final best of 3. We're here in Group E. Armani versus Deer.
Yes.
Now, we already had these guys face off once, and Deer just played better. Okay, everything went according to plan. But I would speculate that Armani was not quite warmed up. He's our least experienced player of this season, from the past or the present. And maybe we're going to see a better game out of him this time around. Now, Deer is just a very strong Protoss player. He's one of the players, if you watch GSL, you're very familiar with him. We know he has ups and downs. You know, sometimes he plays amazingly, and then other times a lackluster, but he's usually consistent for the day. He doesn't just play amazingly in one part of the group and then lose in the others. It seems to be day by day with him. So maybe Armani's warmed up, he can take him on, but right now we know he's going up against a very robust, very strong Deer.
Yeah, Deer is looking good, but You know, if Armani fixes 1 or 2 small things, it can make all the difference in this match.
Let's see what happens. Game 1 is ready. Let's go. Right now.
전투 준비 완료. 퍼포먼스로 앞서가다 LG 울트라 기어와 넘버원 에너지 드링크 핫식스가 이번 전투를 지원한다고. 아프리카 프릭스, 아르마니, 박진혁. 카이지 게이밍, 디어, 백동준.
It's kind of funny watching this new 14 hatch meta.
Yeah.
So many pro blocks going on that you're like, screw it.
Enough.
We're just getting that hatch up no matter what. You got to start sending one of your first probes to block the 14 hatch. That's the next. Eventually, it's just stupid. Eventually, it's.
This is what's so fun about seeing these mini games go
Oh,
on
man,
and on
yeah.
and on.
Yeah. There has to be some point at which this madness can stop, right? Like, eventually you have to go 12 hatch. Like, is that going to occur?
It's weird though when the game gets that.
Eventually, just hatch
Map.
and main is like what you just automatically do because you know there's
Yeah,
like
yeah.
2 probes.
And you
sent
know
out
he's
at the
going to lose that
beginning.
money to send the probes out.
Yeah. Oh god, I love watching weird evolutions of the metagame like that. It's so funny.
So, as we've talked about before, it does appear, at least as where we are right now in our understanding of PvZ, the Protoss is usually required to come in at a point in time and either kill or at the very minimum cripple the Zerg.
Yeah.
If a Zerg is left untampered with,
To his own devices.
to his own devices, thank you, he will grow into an out-of-control mess that the Protoss cannot control, the Protoss struggles to take down. It does appear to be a feature of the matchup, and one that Protosses certainly have to grapple with if they're going to come out with a win. Now, the problem that Protosses face in this situation, and there's a lot of different reasons why it ends up like this. I think some of this is the fact that StarCraft 2 is the fastest game as far as RTS goes. It is faster than all other RTSs. And the way that units can be controlled, that, you know, if the Zerg identifies the timing attack, they generally can figure it out. There's not a lot of timing attacks that you can know it's coming and still lose to it. And so the Protoss is in this situation where they have to manipulate information so masterfully and disguise and mask and everything else that the Zerg is caught off guard.
Yeah.
And we've seen play. I mean, we just saw this with Zest at IEM. You know, continuously doing different types of timings. But if the Zerg eventually figures it out, they can stop it.
You know, I wonder.
Yeah, please go ahead.
Because I mean, I think you summed that up pretty well. I wonder if that's part of the reason why Dark is so good right now, is because he's just comfortable playing with less drones than basically every Zerg in a macro game.
That's
someone
a good
like
point.
someone like a very aggressive Zerg like Impact, yeah, he'll play with like very few drones, but it's because he's attacking. Whereas Dark, like, even if he doesn't have a lot of drones, can play the macro game very well.
Okay.
Which means that he can just have like a bit more units or like be a bit safer in certain situations as well. I'd have to go back and really remember his games to see if that's what's going on, but just kind of what you said made me think of that.
I think it's a really smart point what you just said. Oh my God!
This happened twice.
This happened again. Well, you know, this is one of the things that the Zergs dream to have happen because you get in there and see what buildings they have, which is usually all the information you need to be able to tech correctly in response. Now, it's one of the reasons why, you know, there's been debate about how are Zerg too strong. I actually think part of it is just the way they operate and the place we're at in the game. I think creep and overlords and vision and the benefits of the creep in a game that's become this mapped out is just hard to deal with.
Yeah.
You know? People get very, very good at defense the longer an RTS is out.
That is so
I mean,
true.
in every...
It is silly
Brood
what you
Wars,
can do
StarCraft 2,
defense-wise.
Warcraft 3. I mean, people are crazy now with what they can defend, and that's always the opposite of where the game is right when it comes out, where everybody's you know, doing different rushes and everybody's bitching and moaning that they know how the game works, and it's like a month and a half in, and you're like, okay, literally nobody knows how the game works.
This is
yet.
imbalanced. That's imbalanced.
This imbalanced. Blizzard, are you even paying
You'll never be
attention?
able to stop this.
Yeah.
It's like you stop with one Marine later on.
Yeah. But now we are at a point where it does seem like, yeah, I mean, it's if you see what's coming, it's one of the reasons why map hacks were the first hacks ever in RTS. Was that if you just saw what they were doing, then you could try to, then you would, if you knew how the game operated at a high level, you could stop it.
Sure.
And so we see this was a modest pressure build. Again,
yeah, kind of an interesting one, actually.
Yeah.
He went like quick glaives and didn't really get anything done, but then has a prism with 4 stalkers, which is like a meta. It was something Stats was doing at Katowice last year.
Yeah, and he was
so
doing
was
this
kind of interesting.
He was doing this as a control mechanism, not as really you know, trying to rush and do damage. But although so the Protoss basically feigned doing a lot of pressure to get a third base to probably set up for a later attack. However, it almost appears as though the Zerg may have enough to just whip across the map, and he does. He just denies the third.
I don't think he's going to kill him.
Yeah, but I mean, he's going to do a lot of damage here.
Yeah, he cancels third. That's pretty big. But the Adepts, I mean, shading in right now, there's like no units at home for Zerg.
Well, he's taken out the Cybernetics core, so there's a lot of tech that's not going to come in. You are absolutely right. The Adepts are going to come through and do a lot of damage. I'm actually surprised he didn't go for the pylon there, but he takes out the gateway. That's actually probably a better move now that I look at it.
I like this for Protoss, though, really. Like,
yeah,
look at how much he's getting done. He's getting a lot of the drones. He lost a few buildings at home, but I don't think it's really that important. Like, just remake your Cyber and remake your third.
I think you're probably right, Artosis, but I do want to point out that, you know, Protoss does need a third, right? I mean, to make this work.
Well, Armani's only on 39 drones, right? That's less than 2 base saturation.
Yeah, actually, I think you might be totally right. Maybe I'm wrong. Can he not recover from this?
Well, I think he can. The game is not over, but I think overall, what we just saw occur, I kind of liked it for Deer a little bit more than Armani. Like, I don't think that Armani's attack did enough for what he sacrificed.
Well, also, it does appear that Deer has a better setup here with his Immortals coming out.
Yeah,
the 2 Immortals in the War Prism. Now you can start really poking the eye of the Zerg here with these Immortals. This is really annoying and hard to deal with, and it requires a lot of attention for the Zerg to stay back and defend against this. And maybe, unless there's a very small, sneaky Ling counterattack, the third should get up. But there's also a push coming behind this as well, although I don't know if he's going to commit to it. He may just be trying to push forward and then back up.
Yeah, I think he's trying to see how many units actually come in, because the Prism's up here. It's not with his main army, so you wouldn't want to do like a full dedicated attack and this harassment at the same time. He's trying to figure out where the units are during this.
So he picked off 4 roaches back there. Really nicely done. And he's actually going to come in here and stop the Ling counterattack. And Deer, you know, he's really good at the judo of PvZ, of coming in there and hitting the Zerg where it counts while basically stopping what's coming. And I think this is pretty good handling considering how obtuse the start of this game was, where he basically did adept pressure into 4 stalkers and a Warp Prism, and Zerg immediately saw the weakness, sniffed it out, and came in there and took out the Nexus.
Yeah. Well, with Colossus tech on the way, we can see that there's definitely a timing attack that's going to be coming out from Deer. He did make a single Disruptor, which I find really interesting. I think that can be good against a good amount of Ravagers, for sure. So, yeah, this is kind of a cool way. I really like how Deer's playing this game. Really do. It's very fresh, and it feels very smart. He really seems to be on top of his game today.
And this is what you need to be doing if you're going to be a Protoss that's going to take out Zergs. He's actually hitting the hatchery here.
Oh, no.
That doesn't always happen. Well, but when it happens in a televised match, it hurts.
The thing is, they almost never hit in these situations anyways, so it's like even throwing them down is like,
looks
well,
like-
it doesn't really take much APM to
It
throw
looks like
this
the
down.
Disruptor is trapped in between the Colossus's legs. We saw it moving around there.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
It's like my dog when I'm in the kitchen.
He's just trying to run around underneath you. There he is. Oh, he's
Why
coming
are
by.
you always underfoot?
Now, the Immortals will pull this back into a position where I think he can then meet up with the rest of the army. Is he going to go through the top? I thought he might go through the bottom, but...
Look at this. He's got stuff everywhere. He's got his Prism still doing work. Zealot's running around, and then his main army is like bait. He's like, hey, you better be afraid of this. But really, it's these little side harassments that are doing the work.
Okay, here comes the real push now. Now, he did not target that Warp Prism. A blink forward here. He's going to run just out of the way of that attack over there with the Corrosive Vials. Okay, he's definitely going to get this base. Again, Deer is just on another level at these mind games.
He's looking real good.
Yeah.
I love the disruptors in there, too. It's very weird seeing one Colossus, 2 Disruptor, especially with it having Thermal Lance. But, it's working.
Another disruption ball should be shot out here momentarily. Oh my god, I love these Banes from behind. I think the Warp Prism on the high ground can see into the fog or whatever you want to call it. But with these, hold on! Oh!
Those
that
force
I think
fields.
actually should be it. I mean, everything about this attack was executed brilliantly here by Deer. And Deer is showing even against a warmed-up Armani, it is no problem at all. And he should be taking this game.
Well, he just threw a bucket of ice water on him right there. That was beautifully done by Deer. Some great play.
Great push there by Deer. You know, if you're going to be good at PvZ in a tournament, you better have like 15 different builds coming out that are all confusing and convoluted as far as Zerg is concerned.
That was a weird one, man. With it, like, when you see the glaives, you're thinking, okay, is it like a Mortal Sentry coming behind this? Is it DT? Follow up, like, what are we doing? And then it was like 4 Stalkers doing light harassment with the Prism into, like, he held a push and did good counter harassment into Colossus Disruptor.
And I actually misread it back there. I thought that Deer was going to be in a worse condition because he lost his third, but you were right. I mean, he just had the right tools still at his disposal to push back across.
If his Adepts had come home, I think Armani would have been in a good spot, but the Adept counter harassment did a very nice job.
Yeah, you can lose the Nexus, but losing the workers in an important moment like that, that's too much damage. Game 2 is on Everdream, our final best of 3, Armani versus Deer.
전투 준비 완료. 아프리카 프릭스, 아르마니, 박진영.
So funny, the 14 hatch.
카이지 게임. Deer.
Right before the
백동준.
probe gets there.
Well, this is an old technique. It's been around. I'm trying to think of really when we first started seeing this. It was one of the first things Protoss has figured out to do in the game. Like very, very first StarCraft was that the probe can easily abuse whether it's workers that are mining, building on the gas. This isn't a thing that happens really in StarCraft 2 as much, but also just blocking the hatchery. If you block the hatchery, I mean, Zerg obviously can just expand somewhere else, but you've already taken control of the game. If you're somebody who regularly blocks the hatch and you know how to do it, and this was stronger in years past for sure, but it also paired well with the Adepts when Legacy of the Void first came out, as people would force it off, and then they would come in with these Adepts from different angles. You know, when you have hatcheries spread out quite a bit and creep not connected, then the Adepts are a real threat. But we're seeing Zergs continue to adapt and get back to where they need to be, and in this case, it's just by altering the build to ensure that you will get the first hatchery out. Now, you were saying maybe there's a way to send a probe out. Not maybe there's a way. You can just send a probe out and try to block it earlier, but then how much money are you losing? And
it's a lot.
Yeah.
I don't think that we'll actually see it evolve into that, but that would be funny. And to be honest, I think hatchery blocks are at peak power right now, especially with how strong Adept openings are, like the ones that Zest has kind of pioneered.
Right.
It seems to be very powerful and more influential right now, which is why we're seeing a lot of 14 hatches, whereas once upon a time, and just even a few months ago, right before Katowice, like someone blocks your hatch, like your regular 16 hatch or whatever, you just go build out your third, you know?
Yeah.
But now people are like, no, that hatchery's going exactly where I want it, exactly when I want
I've had enough of that.
Yeah.
Twilight made over here. It's not made inside the main or hidden on the map, but it's in this funny spot over the natural.
Yeah, just a reaction to where the Overlord is right now.
Yeah. And there's a lot that where, even if they're going to scout it later, you just can't make it where they are then. It really is a matter of even if they catch it a few seconds later, this might impact how the later fight goes on. There's another Robo made, again, out of vision. Now he's going to scout this Robo. He has not seen the Twilight. I'm sorry,
see that
he
either.
turned around. I thought he was going to get a little bit further forward here.
Doesn't see anything. He's choosing just not to lose the Overlord right now. He knows that there's going to be a Stalker out. All right, Glaives is on the way once again here. They definitely saved him last game.
Okay, he's going to shade right over here.
Yeah, he's just counting the drones, making sure that
Smart
there's
move.
the appropriate amount. There have been really cute builds where you send extra drones from your main to hide the fact that you're doing this when they do the Adept Shade into count drones with a natural.
Roach Warren. Now,
Yeah, pretty early.
we have a lot of the same ideas we've had presented in all the PVZs we've had here today. Glaives, you know, Adept Tech coming out here, an early Warp Prism to apply pressure. And then it's really just a matter of, you know, what are the next steps that Protoss is going to take. And we're continuing to see variants of this as the game goes on. I mean, the Zerg at this point in time is not ever really expecting a really passive game from Protoss. Unless we have a new revolution with, you know, PVZ, where end game, the unit compositions for Protoss seem like they're manageable against, you know, the really robust unit comps, various compositions that Zerg can have in the late game. And so they know it's coming. It's just a matter of when and where and what exactly is it going to be.
Let's see what these Adepts can get done.
Now,
There's no drones over here, so
we want to watch the first 1 or 2 shades to see where they can commit. Now he backs off. In this position specifically, there's not a lot of other places to shade to. It's basically up or not at all.
yeah. And you can see that this is actually being dealt with quite well. He's
Yeah.
splitting his army nicely and making sure that the Adepts can't really take fights anywhere and do that good of a job.
Right.
And this is exactly how you want to do it.
Now, is there going to be another warp in? There is. Okay. Again, the shades
Stalkers,
come
though.
forward.
You know what? That's really cool. I like that he got the Stalkers.
Well,
he's actually going to pick off this Overlord, but also I think that they can add a little bit of damage
I almost wonder
to
if
the Roach Queen that keeps staying here.
I wonder if he's going to continue to try to hold this position and use this as a launching pad for a push. No. He's going to pick up over here, and now he's going to start hitting Overlords. Now, note, the Zerg's already supply blocked. This is actually a pretty technical play here.
I thought he was going to finish, too. Saw Armani the last thing. He was like, oh, are you finishing?
Shading back over to the far right. And, again, notice that the Zerg has not put any drones over here at all. Now,
Same type of attack coming in.
and a lot of the same ideas in this game here. The third, I think, can get poked out. Where are the Adepts now? Is that them over on the left side?
Yeah, I think they've
So-
actually come home. So if they come home, he has to hold his third.
Yeah, because
he won't be
otherwise,
getting counter damage.
yeah, Zerg will just be ahead. You just kill the third and lose some Lings and Ravagers, I think you're fine. But the Zerg's not going for the third, at least for now. Instead, it's going to be a push at the mouth of the natural, linking that to the third.
Okay, the Lings get in on top of everything. One of the sentries falls pretty quickly there. Couple force fields go down, they get busted immediately. Still 2 Immortals, some good micro from Deer as well.
Okay, now this is a great target to try to get that Cybernetic score. There's actually more Lings spilling in too, by the way. Is this actually enough? I mean, a Warp Prism and Immortals and everything else over here. Now, I love the blanketing of those Biles. Great play by Armani. But we have Immortals now coming in from 2 different sides. Still 3 total in the game.
Yeah, the flank is going to be too much, and Armani going to end up losing these units.
Now, that's a lot of Ravagers to lose.
Yeah. Dude, he's at 41 workers to 47 right now. He doesn't have any tech really to speak of.
I love that he's going to chase this.
I love that once again we're going to get Lings in the main.
Wow.
Well, that's a good moment there for Armani, but I think overall his attack was really not that good.
I agree. Well, I think he got stuck in something. You know, he committed to it, and it turns out that Deer has enough, you know, to balance both worlds out there. Because I actually thought it was going to do more damage from Armani. I thought, okay, he's got his number. But he also didn't even attack into the third, really. It was kind of weird. He attacked.
I think he wanted to catch him behind the gates. If like Protoss is defensively behind their wall, an attack like that does so much.
Okay.
because they can't really come out against it. Then it's like, well, do I kill the third? Do I kill the wall? Do I just rain Biles down behind the wall? I think you have a lot of options at that point. But right now, I am definitely not liking where Armani's at.
Another attack comes in here. Now, this is actually almost more important than the push in some ways, in that you can just kill off workers. And plays like this sometimes lead to more wins than even that, like a push we saw from before. But the problem is now Deer has gotten ahead, right? He's already made this armory from the workers that were attacked that expansion. And now it's a matter of can Zerg actually hold this attack off. Zerg's on 3 bases. Oh, one Immortal goes down. The War Prism backed up a little bit too far. You know, Deer specifically in previous GSLs was knocked out because he lost his Warp Prism in PVZs to Ravager Biles. So I think some of this is him hyper-adjusting to just ensure he will never lose the same way. And we have the third going down, but the question is, I think it's more important, is can the Zerg hold his third?
Yeah, this is the important part of the game right here, right now.
Okay.
These Immortals dealing so much damage to this Roach-based army. Only a couple of Ravagers left over. No way to pick off the Prism, realistically.
Okay, only one more Immortal here. The Immortal really, oh, sorry, I'm sorry, 2 more Immortals. There's another new one over here, and actually a third one coming up here. I'm way off. But this might be enough. I mean, just with the Roaches alone, the only thing really that's going for the Zerg in this fight is that it's a bigger bottleneck that he can kind of use Biles to slow this down, and these link counterattacks that are doing such an insane amount of damage. Both these guys, it's becoming a very scrappy game.
Yeah, Deer is actually taking way more damage from this than I thought he would end up taking. He's lost the third base. He's losing a ton of probes as well. He's down to 36 workers. That's not so good. And look at this. He's actually, like, I guess he has to start this over now. Is that going to give Armani enough time to get everything together he needs?
I'm not sure. This is a hard game to measure, really.
Yeah, it's
like,
a lot of damage has been done on both sides.
The thing is, Zerg is kind of stuck with his tech.
Yeah.
You know, Protoss is actually got, I think, basically a little bit better tech, but also the room to continue to tech out, and that's why we see a Baneling's Nest coming down here now. You know, in these fights, the Ravagers keep getting lower, the count does. And the Ravager is basically the only technical unit that the Zerg has right now that like allows you to
That's the powerful
micro and control. And frankly, the Corrosive Bile is among the most limited abilities. Even though it's very good because it can allow you to use spacing, it's not like a force field.
Yeah.
You know, even though it can break force fields, so the force field goes down first, and then you have to fix that later. So the Baneling's Nest is going to be pretty important, but
he's hitting well before then.
Yeah, this
he's got
gonna
blank.
See.
All right, walks into a couple files right there, but some decent force fields going down.
Again, Deer making sure that Warp Prism is safe in the back. He's lost many tournaments before by just losing that Warp Prism, and now a blink in, a blunk.
Oh God, I think he's got enough here.
Yeah,
those 5 Immortals, there's no way that they're going to be falling.
Yeah, we're beginning to see, and look at this, it's timed out just before a Baneling's Nest can be utilized, and now again another diving blink.
And
all
he
the
is
Immortals
just,
in the back. Yeah, he is just smashing
on top of everything. Deer with just some amazing PVZs tonight.
GG. It goes to show you the difference in the top 24 players in the world still.
Yeah.
You know? The guy who's maybe 15 or something is able to beat the guy who's 24 so handily. And maybe Deer's much higher than 15. Maybe he'll do very well this season.
Yeah,
He's actually playing much better than he has in the past.
Yeah, I like his play today. Really, I do. Against the mech, we can't really judge that too well. You can see Armani eating up a bit.
Well,
but truthfully, Deer way outplayed him.
Everybody's, you know, been putting a lot of pressure on themselves because we had so much downtime here for GSLs.
Yeah.
We're
Armani
back
on the new team, sponsored by Afrika, too.
A lot of pressure for sure.
You know, the people who own that team watch today. This is
right,
Afrika.
it's true. We're going to have an interview now with Deer. Andy, go ahead.
All right, we're going to have an interview with the second winner of Group E. He is Deer. Congratulations. Thank you. So how does it feel to go into the round of 16? Well, first of all, in the winners bracket, I thought I would actually advance. So I actually prepared against Terran more. But then I lost to the mech army, and then I was kind of sad after. So you talked to us about the mechanic. So you're really frustrated after the match. So what was really hard going up against TY's Banshee mechanic?
좀 멀티를 잘 먹더라고요.
Well, he was really good at
그리고
expanding,
약간
first of all.
태양이가 확실히 그 견제 스타일이다 보니까 그런 거를 막기가 좀 까다롭고.
And you know, it was just really hard to go
막세
up against him.
우주간만 하나에서 그 캐리어를 뽑으면서 좀.
And in the late game, I did use a little bit of fake by going carriers after
오늘
gateway,
이렇게 나온
but it didn't work.
스페전에서의 메카닉이 자주 보는 양상은 아니거든요.
And mech in the
레더를
TBT
하실 때
is
메카닉
not
자주
something you see
만나시나요?
often. But do you see mech in
메카닉은
your
오로지
rank match?
태양이랑 후안 선수만 아는데.
I feel like mech is only used by special or TY, but I'm really sad that I couldn't cope with it.
자, 저그전도 이야기를 해볼게요.
Okay, let's talk about the PvZ now.
운영이나 심리전, 컨트롤 등에서
You talk about the micro, you talk about the macro, and like the battle of wits.
내려오시면서
But after the match,
힘드셨다고
you said that it was really hard
의미인가요?
of the PvZ. Why is that?
사실 제가 지금 저거전에 약간 감을 못 찾고 있긴
Well, I
한데
feel like I couldn't get the hang of the PvZ
지금
matchup.
제일 프로토스가 제일 사기인 빌드라고 생각하는데
But right now, I feel like I did use a build that Protoss is really good at right now.
통해서 다행인 것
And I'm just really happy that it worked out.
사기 빌드를 썼다
So you said you used the Protoss OP build.
1, 2세트 모두 암흑기사를 꺼내기도 했었거든요.
In the first set and the second set, you used Dark Templar. Why is that?
일단 암흑기사를 좀 배제하는 저그들도 많고.
Well, there are a lot of
그리고
Zergs who don't pay
번째
attention
세트
to
같은
DTs.
경우에는 약간 그 노레어 바퀴링 찌르기 그거를 약간 맞춤식으로 준비했는데.
And it feels like DT is really good at no layer roach build.
많이 긴장한 탓인지 다크를 못 봐가지고.
And I felt like Armani was a little bit nervous when he went up against me.
자, 오늘 이렇게 2위 진출로 2020
And now you secured the round of 16 spot as a second winner of Group E.
2019년 GSL에서도 꾸준히 16강을
In 2019 GSL, you always went to the round of 16.
크실 것 같습니다. 올해 계획은 어떻게 되세요?
So what are your objectives for this year?
일단은 눈앞에 있는 경기를
Well, first of all, I'm going to try to win all the matches that are in my way. And I just hope I don't meet Zest in my group.
그 자체로 이야기하기 어려운 게 항상 주성 선수가 있었거든요.
Yes, you always get bogged down by Zest.
요즘도 어떠신가요? 좀
So
힘드신가요?
how's Zest these days? How's going up against him?
약간 포기했어요. 만나면
Well,
그냥
I've pretty much given up now.
질 것 같아요.
I think if I do meet him, I think I'm going to lose.
벽은 참 높은 것 같습니다. 자, 그래도 백동 선수 끝까지 저희가 응원을 하겠습니다.
But dear, we will
마지막으로
root you
한마디 들어볼게요.
in your future endeavors.
오늘
So anything you want to say before you go?
경기력이 좋지는 않았는데.
Well, you know, I've got to say my performance wasn't all that good today.
많은 시간이
But I do have
있으니까
plenty of time until the round of 16, so I'm gonna try to step up my performance and get ready.
다시 한번 16강 진출
Once again,
축하드립니다.
congratulations on the win. Thank you.
네, 이렇게 2위
Thanks,
진출자
Andy. Excellent
백동준
work.
선수 만나봤는데요.
And congratulations,
이조 경기
dear.
최종 정리 확인해 보시죠.
He moves on. These are the results, I think. I mean, if you had to guess, not guess actually, if you had to bet on somebody, these are the people you pick.
This would basically be exactly how I would think it would go too, to be honest.
Yeah. Cool to see TY meching, by the way.
Yeah, that was some neat stuff, and I'm very excited to see if he does it again. But it's going to be a little bit, right? We have one more group, and then the round of 16 group selection. So the earliest we could see him play again, actually, I guess it's quicker than I thought. It would be like a week and a half or so.
Can I just say this is the greatest picture of Special
It is an amazing
I have ever seen.
Yeah.
I feel like he's going to need, in this picture, I feel like Special, he needs to help us navigate the Nebuchadnezzar against the Sentinels. Okay, all these guys right now working on the Matrix spaceship.
Yeah.
And I only know that right now, 182 is plugged in to the chair.
Look, based on these pictures, he's getting out of that group for sure.
For sure he's getting out of that group.
And honestly, he does very well against stats overall.
Yeah, he does.
Yeah, and Tasia, I wonder what type of form Tasia's really in. It's exciting to have him back here. But I think all the guys that had to go to military and came back, like Dream is the only one I'm really looking at with expectations, and even he didn't make it through. So I'm, in a group like this, Hurricane's in good shape right now as well. It's hard to imagine Tasia getting through, truly.
Now, remember that this group starts early.
Yes.
Excuse me, it's
That's
on
so important.
Wednesday at 5 p.m. And then when we're done, the group selection.
Yeah.
So, yeah, don't miss out on that. And then tomorrow, I said the wrong time earlier in the show. Tomorrow at 7 p.m. is the ASL finals. We have Queen versus Last. Flash has been eliminated in an upset.
At 5 p.m.
What did I say? 5?
You said 7 p.m.
I did it again?
Yeah.
Sorry, guys.
That's okay.
That's why he has to be here. I can't do this alone.
Yeah.
5 p.m.
5 p.m.
5 p.m.
And that's going to be
there.
an excellent finals.
Now I'm freaking myself out that I'm going to show up late. Be like, I said 7.
I thought it was at 7.
Me
It's
and
like,
the rest of the viewers will be like, I don't know. You guys have to wait.
Yeah.
Yes. So come watch that finals. It's going to be awesome. This season of ASL has been by far the best season of ASL we've ever had.
Yeah, it has been, actually. It has.
Yeah.
As far as ASL goes, this is the best season we've had.
Yeah.
As far as Star Leagues and StarCraft 1 goes, it's one of the best easily. As well. We've just had a lot of close matches, a lot of huge names. Like, it's 0 versus Light. That is crazy. That is a great match. Everyone keeps asking me, who do you think? Who do you have? Who do you have favorite?
Really don't know personally.
No, really. They're the greatest match. It's like the match you want to see. It's not like when Flash is in there, you're like, yeah, I think Flash 4-0.
Like,
no, this is like probably a 4-3 or a 4-2. Like, this is
Usually
close.
we end up with Flash in the finals, and it's like Return of the Jedi when that piggy guy fell in the pit and got eaten by that, what is that?
By
thing called?
Flash.
By Flash. But what is that monster called? It's not the Snorlax pit. That's the second time they knocked people into a pit with a monster that has the mouth in the sand. But what was the first one? Rancor pit.
Rancor pit. There you go. Wow.
Still got it.
Look at you.
Yeah, normally it's the green piggy guy in the Rancor pit is what a Flash finals is, but not this time.
Light versus 0 is
this
going to be insane.
It's a Rancor versus a Rancor, and they both fight with lightsabers.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool.
It's going to be awesome. And, yeah, it's the best Zerg in the world. I don't know if we can call Light the best Terran in the world now that Flash is random.
Let's just do it.
I assume by the end
we
of
make the rules here.
By the end of the year, we'll probably call the best Zerg, Protoss, and Terran Flash, but maybe we can just call them best random.
That's all the time we have, guys. We love you. Thank you so much for joining us. Again, we'll be back 5 p.m. KST for GSL Code S on Wednesday, and 5 p.m. KST for the ASL Finals. Stay safe. Wash your hands tomorrow. Thank you. Have a good morning, afternoon, or night, wherever you are.